Hi, hello, and good
So
evening.
much.
It is March 28th, and we are here lamenting the exit of a one DINIS Veto King. We'll be getting into that and all the rest of the events this week. And then we go night nights. I am Kyle Petty. I am joined as always by my festy besties, John Dunphy and Gina Morgito. And it's the Strat Chat. You can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. And, one of these days we are returning to the blue sky. I don't know when, but sometime soon. Um, all right, so we kicked off this week with a rather fun HOH. It had the moving lights and such, one less light than the next time. with, whoever doesn't get to stand in the light, eliminated. We had different like little temptations and things to kind of draw us away from the light. This is exciting. I really wanted Bailey to win this one. I thought that would have been a really fun,
I don't know if I
exciting
can
week.
handle a Bailey HOH.
Oh, I'm here for it. Well, what about Bailey's HOH would turn you off?
Just like I had said this to you guys like off stream the other day, but like I know somebody somewhere listening is gonna be with me on this. She just gives such big Gabby Hanna energy. And I know
Oh,
that's
this
not a name
Gabby
that means
Hanna.
something to you guys, but like it's just she's so like I feel like she's so chaotic. I don't know. She stresses me out. I don't know about
This is
Bailey.
fantastic and fun.
I have actually started to like Bailey more and more. I wouldn't have minded to see her win this competition. I actually, it killed me though. Like she gave us such good entertainment during this competition. The way she was yelling at all those people for stuffing their faces with
Yes.
sushi, like, "Oh, you don't want to win? Oh, you think you're safe?" And then she's the first one to go.
Yes. She's so fun, and we would not have gotten that amazing DR had she not been up on the block. We'll
That
see.
DR specifically is where I was like, no, 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 she's giving Gabby
That
Hanna.
DR was like, okay,
I was like, I don't
if I
know.
if I wasn't
Suspicions
on board,
confirmed.
if I wasn't on board before, I certainly am now.
Like,
Um,
Vivek.
yes, if I go on Vivek, HOH.
It's like a demon came out of her. I was
Yes,
like,
I'm
oh God.
so good.
Oh man. Now
um,
Oh.
you actually had hinted in our group chat at some point this week that you were maybe getting close to starting to stand someone. So I was wondering if we were going to see a name change tonight.
Was that
Was it
here or was
Bailey?
that Survivor?
no, I
I
was
thought,
referring. I was referring to Big Brother
yeah.
Canada.
Gotcha.
We are close to a name change. We are close to a name change.
If you don't want to announce then who it is, but I was wondering
I'm
if it was
curious
Bailey.
I
though.
oh no, I'll share. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ready to sign up, but I'm closest to becoming a Clennon. Okay, that is Miss Kayla's last name, Kayla Clennon.
Oh.
Okay.
I think that Kayla is playing a fantastic game. I'm really, really excited for her. I think she's super smart, and I'll certainly get to that in a moment. So Vivek is, who won HOH and puts up Bailey and Elijah. Elijah already kind of getting that Pawn Star kind of a reputation
Yeah.
now in the house, what I was worried about. I think I said
Yeah.
that a little while ago.
You
Like,
did.
this is what happens when you get put up early on. You get that Brittany D'Angelo treatment, from BB23.
Mm-hmm.
It's just safe to put you up, especially when you're tried and true, So like, yeah, so that does make me nervous for him. A shade, except for the way that this week ended, obviously. But
Right,
um,
right.
yeah. But then, Bailey going up next to him, I can't say that was like a huge shock. We know that that's something that Dougie wanted, and this was essentially Dougie's HOH, if we really want
Right.
to get granular. But it did kind of make sense for Vivek as well. As far as what we've seen, again, because we don't do the dallies, that is the one person he had like real like direct conflict with. So if you're looking for somebody to put up, might as well be
Well,
Bailey.
you know what's funny about all that too is that it really all from even before that ties back to Dougie also with this just being his move, because the reason that Vivek had this whole blowout with Bailey was because Vivek had spilled to Dougie that he had this East Coast
Right.
alliance with Bailey and Donna and Todd, and then Dougie went to Spicy V, and then she had that whole thing where she questioned Vivek in the car.
Right.
That then led to the whole HOH room conversation that they had. So, like, from start to finish, this entire thing had Dougie's fingerprints all over it.
Yeah, it certainly did. I totally agree with that. No notes. I think the only thing that I would add, though, is that, at least what I could say about the Bailey move is that even though that was a situation that Dougie kind of created, it still felt like a good move for Vivek, though.
Right.
Because this is still the situation you found yourself in. And it's like, all right, I might as well get rid of the one person that I fought with. So
For sure.
I certainly hear you with that, because we're reaping the crops from the from the seeds we've sown. I like to do, and sometimes I get tripped up. But yeah, I see that. But all this really now brought us to our first sponsored veto comp of the season, right? I don't think we had a sponsored veto just yet.
Not Veto, no.
And this is brought to us by our friends at Sunwing, our travel sponsor. You had to lay on a little bed, not a bed. It was like the beach lounge chair thing. Make sure you're hitting all the little things. And we've seen this in like our Big Brother, right? In other ways.
Definitely similar versions.
Maybe like taking off, like you remember you had to like remove articles of clothing while hitting the buttons, but if you take too many hands off, or is that the challenge? Because I would definitely be mixing those up.
No, that happens with Big Brother pretty frequently.
Yeah, this kind of gave me those types of vibes.
Yeah, between that, it almost felt like a mixture of multiple games, because I feel like we've also seen competitions where they have like a certain amount of time to complete a puzzle, but if they don't get back to the other side first, you know what I mean? Like, this felt like a combination of
also
like
very
multiple
Survivor
competitions.
Yeah.
And that's the other half of it was the puzzle, and having 3 minutes. Yeah, Natalie, we agree. We also hate this boot order.
Yeah, I'm not having fun.
Yeah, not a good time up north. And you had 3 minutes to kind of work on your puzzle and then get back to your chair for some more sunbathing. Kayla won this. Good for her. Did I announce who I thought won veto on Survivor Night?
I think you did.
So I do have to issue a retraction, because the clip of the digital dilly-dally that I saw was really of Bailey wearing the veto necklace. So that led me to believe that she had won it, when indeed she did not. It was Kayla who placed it upon her neck. And this is where I'm starting to get impressed with Kayla and some of the things that she's doing, because the entire move to backdoor DINIS was really all Dougie, right? And I have to also add that when Vivek was talking to Dougie, and they wanted to bring Kayla into the room to have this conversation with her regarding what her intentions were with the veto, it annoyed me greatly that Spicy ran in as well. Like, I was like, get out of here. Like,
I'm to be so fair, most things about Spicy annoy me. So like there's not a lot that she can do that won't grate me,
Yeah, which also reminds me
disagree.
About something that Kyle said first, actually, which is we don't need Spicy to host any more comps this season.
No, we don't.
No.
It is painful. It is really, really painful. But to see her scoot in there as if she had a right to be in that room when the only person called for was Kayla, that definitely annoyed me. But it's this conversation that kind of started to get me to realize that, like, Kayla has been a part of like some major conversations for plans that actually did move forward. And when you're talking about this particular 4 that was in this room, I don't know. Like, I really don't think that Dougie or Spicy are really going to make it to the end. I mean, I don't want to be writing this in stone or anything, but like
I don't want them to.
I don't
I
want them
find it
to
very
either.
frustrating when like vets come in and all of a sudden now it's like, what do you want to do? And they get to the end because everybody just
Right.
like hands them everything.
I feel like Kayla's the kind of person though, so like enough of this now. It's time for
Mm,
you to go. And I think that people will believe her. Um, but the amount of agency that she has already gained with like being a part of all these different conversations actually sets her up to be, I don't know, positioned pretty well.
mm,
If Spicy and Dougie left, which is why like Kayla's starting
Yeah.
to really like impress me. Um, every move that the girls have made that went forward, she was a part of those conversations too. Um, and she's is not the biggest threat of them all. I would even be more concerned from an outward point of view. And again, you're not a part of all these conversations, so it's hard to say. But seeing how Avery behaved, how so over emotional she was, I found that to be very intimidating.
mhm.
Kayla does not come off to me as a super, super intimidating person where she actually might be the most troublesome. Uh,
Mhm.
Right. I agree with that. And I totally agree with that. And I feel like it's kind of similar to something that I was like just kind of think, or it kind of goes along with something that I was just thinking about because like I think you're right that I don't think she comes off as intimidating. And I wonder how much of that is like intentional. Because like there was even a moment where Vivek was in his HOH room and the four of them had already met, but separately at this time that I'm speaking about now, we
mhm.
had Kayla, Dougie, and Spicy V in a room, and they were talking about how they wanted to now go up and pitch DINIS to Vivek, and they like it seemed like Spicy V and Dougie felt like they had to like kind of coach um Kayla and how what she had to say, and she even played it like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I'd prefer if you guys were in the room with me, and I feel like I don't really think that Kayla is as timid as she's trying to come off, and like
Yeah.
it
I can
serves
see
her
that.
well
Mhm.
because now Spicy V and Dougie are gonna feel like, oh, we have her in the palm of our hand. Like
Yeah.
we can control her, we can manipulate her, but I don't think
Yep.
that Kayla's really gonna be down for that.
No, she's doing such a good job already at like undercutting her own skills. To
Yeah.
be like, oh, like I'm just, it's giving like silent assassin. Like she's gonna be like, yeah, no, you have to like teach me and carry me this way, and I don't really know what I'm doing. And she's gonna cut them like when they're least expecting it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. She is positively going to knock their socks off
And
when the
I
time
am
comes. Yeah.
ready.
I can't wait
I'm
for it.
so happy to have her representing me in this game.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
I'm
good for you.
yeah.
Good for
I'm
you.
I am jealous. I actually she's become like one of, if not my favorites in the house. I think.
Yeah.
No,
I
she's
like her.
I'm very endeared towards her.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really digging her. I'm really digging her. While we're looking at teams, might as well take a moment to acknowledge Team Dunphy, okay? Because this is the first time that well, in a little while, that John's been doing so well. And so before he loses one, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you still have all four of your people after
Mhm.
being decimated in the Australian Survivor draft. So
Yeah.
congratulations to
Thank you.
John.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations. I did take my first hit this week,
Yeah.
and it was my number one. So
Mm.
my feelings are HURT.
This was a tough loss. I will
This
say,
was
Yeah.
this
a
one
very
Yeah.
tough
this
loss.
one really hurt.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah,
totally.
no, it did.
Totally.
It did.
I I do feel okay about my team, but I'm a little I feel like they could fall pretty quick because I think that Tola and Matthew are seen as big threats, and
You think Matthew really?
I think that he's seen as like a physical competitor that like the girls might want to go after at some point. And I know the girls, even within like hot chocolate, it seems like aren't feeling great about Lexus right now. So I don't know.
Hmm. You know, that can change though, because hot chocolate's not going to turn on themselves so much. And it's like, what makes you think that Matthew is viewed as like a big thing? I feel like no one said anything about him
Yeah,
other
I
than
have not that
Lexus.
I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he might be okay.
I think he might be okay for a little while. I just
Hmm.
feel like he's just gonna I feel like he's just automatically gonna have a target on his back because he is like a
Hmm.
strong
Right.
physical person. That's all. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think Tola is
Uh,
your biggest problem.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's the only one whose name I've heard really like be brought up. And I feel like he's brought up all the time, but no one's really actually doing anything about it. So I don't know.
Right.
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 Like he could be the person that they keep saying, "Oh yeah, like he's a problem, but we'll worry about him later." And then before you know it, it's later and there's nothing you can do about it, you know?
Right, right.
Right.
What about your team? Oof.
I won both competitions this week, okay? So I might have been getting decimated at first, but I had a good week. I had a good week.
You did have a good week, but I don't know about your number one, babes.
Yeah, I don't know
I think
either.
Vivek has a rough road.
I'm worried.
I think he has a rough road. After this DINIS backdoor, like I
Mhm.
really don't. I understand why other people would want him up there. I understand why Dougie would want DINIS up there. It makes good sense for other people. I don't think this was a decision that was best for Vivek's game,
No.
um, especially right on the heels of DINIS removing you from the block last week.
Right.
What this really demonstrates is that you absolutely cannot be trusted. Like it doesn't matter what your reasoning for this is, you don't even have enough like honor to pay that back for 1 week. We even see that in America. But like, I can't do this right after they took me off. I just have to do it later. The fact that you couldn't even acknowledge that, who would ever want to stick up for you now?
And that's the thing too. Like
Right.
Dennis called him out on it, which like unsurprising
Mhm.
because Dennis did tote himself as a super fan, so obviously he's going to have really solid reads on this stuff, but he went right up to him and was like, "Vivek put up his number one person. Who now in this game is going to want to trust you, going to want to work with you and going to take your word for anything? You just put up your number one person after they were the only person to ride for you last week. Who's going to want to be on your side?"
Right. That's
Yeah.
totally true.
And he totally bought Spicy's whole thing, like, "Oh, it was really me that led Dennis to do that, blah, blah, blah." And it's like, if you knew anything about this show, like, why would you be trusting these returning players?
Yeah.
Like, it's so annoying to watch.
Right. It was so funny to me too, like, because Vivek made a big deal about how, like, he couldn't put Tola up because he gave Tola his word, and then now all of a sudden, like, any relationships don't matter, you're putting your number one up there, and it feels like the type of move that's just gonna be like, they just choose you up and they're gonna spit you out. Like, Dougie specifically wanted Dennis out, they managed to use you to get it done, and now people still want you out anyway.
Mhm.
So, like,
Mhm.
yeah, this felt like a real waste of time and just real
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah. And I think it's going to be interesting seeing, because we did get our first live HOH competition. We actually got to
Mhm.
see who won HOH before the episode ended. And Elijah won, aka Goose. Onk, onk. So while I did take an L this week, Team Petty is in power. All right. So take
Mhm.
that, naysayers. We're back and we're ready to exact our revenge. They don't know they're on this team. They don't know they're playing together. But I do think that Vivek could have an issue here, because even before Elijah won, we saw in the edit that Elijah was a little annoyed that Vivek put him up as the pawn and said, why does it always have to be me? It didn't have to be me this time. So it's like he's got an axe to grind.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm definitely very interested to see what he'll do.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, I'm super interested because I don't see him being swayed by a Dougie or a Spicy.
I
I,
hope not.
I don't see
right.
them talking to him.
I
I
got
don't think
worried for like a
anybody
hot
takes.
I got worried like for a hot second because as soon as he won, like Dougie picked him up and was like, "Yeah!" I was like celebrating with him and I said, "Uh-oh.
Ew.
Oh no."
That's Dougie try to put in the early work to be like, I'm gonna be
Mhm.
Yeah.
the one in your ear. Like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I really don't know. I
Yeah. I
think
don't know how much he's going to buy it. Because I think he's one of those players who, because he won at the time that he did, when there's so many other people in the house, it's a little bit easier to discern the people who are surrounding themselves around you. The people who are surrounding you, maybe not themselves. That's the word that should not. That's the word that didn't belong. The people that are now suddenly around you, put it that way, because you're in power, and these were
Mhm.
not people who were around you last
Yeah.
week. So I think there's enough people in the house to start to split that up. So that kind of excites me. And Elijah's not a super fan, right? So like he knows he knows this game.
yeah.
At least we hope. We hope he knows it as well as he says he does.
Yeah.
But
I have hope. I have high hopes for his HOH week. I think it's gonna be fun.
It's hard to like. I have high hopes too, but it's like I feel like he's so well liked, but like there is nobody that I hear saying anything negative about him. So like the potential for this to kind of create waves where he didn't need to does stress me out a little bit. But I don't know.
I hear that. I think it depends on
He
how it
does.
goes.
He did need to get some kind of agency because, like we said, he's been the block star. You know, like he's
Mhm.
been everybody's favorite pawn the last like 2 weeks in a row, which could set him up to be a pawn over and over and over again. So getting some kind of a power and some agency early on is helpful.
Yeah.
I'm just like nervous about how it's going to play out.
Who would you like to see him put up?
I don't know.
I feel like I honestly I feel like Vivek should be one of them. It's an easy thing. You put me up
I
last
put you
time,
up.
so I put you
Yep,
up this
done and
time.
done.
He's somebody that people are already looking at as a threat. It's just or maybe not a threat as a target, definitely, but and then I guess it's just the fun part is trying to figure out who the second person would be that would go up.
Right, because
Yeah.
again, like the easy thing is like the two people that put me up, but the other person that put him up is spicy. And like, are we ready for that? I don't know.
That would be funny.
It would be great, but I don't know if that's the kind of smoke we need right now.
It would be funny, and I wonder how that would fare. Because now we're going to get a spicy that's actually going to try to play and win Veto, you know. But if she ended up being there on eviction night, I guess it depends really who she's sitting next to. But the girls don't have the numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
But I guess also Elijah doesn't have a vote, so that kind of takes one out. And if there's another guy next to her, that could kind of even that up.
Mm-hmm.
Do the girls now decide, you know what? Maybe we should let her go.
I feel like they wouldn't do it so soon. Like,
No,
I would love
I
for
don't
them
think so
to, but I
either.
don't think they would.
Natalie thinks Tola and Todd.
Tola would be another easy one because I feel like
Tola is
he's
an easy
the name
one.
that's in the most people's mouths.
I get, and Todd maybe as the pawn. I don't see any reason to make him the reason.
Yeah. But I think that Vivek, Tola, and Todd having all three of those options, like no one would actually. Well, I don't know. I guess Todd and I know
Alexis.
his showmance is gone, right? Wasn't Todd hooking up with?
Oh, Todd was with Donna.
Which
yeah.
we learned
Matt and
as she was
Alexis.
leaving.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was happening. No, I'm sorry. It was Matt and Lexus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like I'm not really sure how much support Todd has in there. So like, I feel like between Vivek and Tola, no one would be mad at Elijah for putting either of them up. And
I
then
agree
I feel
with
like
that.
Todd as a backup is not a bad option. So
Yeah, I think Todd needs to be the third option because depending on who he's up against, Todd could go. And that can't really be the target, right? Like I would think of Todd more as the pawn.
Yeah.
But if you put him up next to a Vivek or a Tola, there's a possibility there that Ducky could sway that.
that's
like
true.
onto Todd. Because again, he's also not super connected. And we've already seen Dougie basically just co-opt people's like HOHs here. So if he's able to do that, all he needs to do is like sway one vote or two.
Yeah. We'd really have to see how much power the girls have in that situation. If it was Tola and Todd, because I could see the girls really all wanting Tola out. And Dougie saying like, no, it's got to be Todd. But so I feel like then it would become a showdown of like, can Dougie rally enough support to, to get his way?
And do you think it's really good for Elijah's game to also be putting up two men in a game that has already kind of been set up, very male female?
Yeah.
Like maybe I don't want to put up two men. I can try to keep it fair and put up a girl and a guy, but like, do I really want to do two guys and guarantee it?
And if you're gonna split it, then I almost feel like it should be Vivek. That's the guy that goes up.
Yeah. But then who is the girl?
It's so hard because I feel like I don't think Elijah would want to put Bailey up, but like she's been up already, so at least it's not like a new. At least you're not saying a new name, but like I don't know if he would do that.
I'd be scared to put her up. Just because I'm just scared of her. Like, she scares
Right.
me. Like, I feel like she'd be the one, like, to terrorize, like, all week long. You know? Um, I wanna see Spicy on the block. She's gotta go
I
up
also want
sometime.
to see Spicy on the block. I feel like the two of them are just gonna ride out forever.
I don't know, Spicy
Because
and
everybody's playing, all the girls are playing Spicy's game, and all the guys are playing Ducky's game. So
honestly, I'm sorry, I have a new dream now. I do have a dream, and it is Spicy and Vivek up there, because I would love to see then what Dougie does to navigate around that. How tricky, because you've basically said to Vivek, hey, you can trust me, you know, I'm riding with you in this game, XYZ, you know, first, second, and the third. And then he's also running all this mouth with Miss Spicy and kind of making like some not, they don't seem to be hard deals with the girls, but he's definitely saying I'm playing adjacent to you.
yeah.
I- you start rallying behind Spicy, that's going to burn you. You start rallying against Vivek, it's going to look like then you really can't be trusted. Because there's no way that other people, if we can see just from sitting at home, the little bit that they allow us to see that Anthony really kind of like, again, took over Vivek's thing. They also know then there must be some kind of playing together stuff.
Sure.
So now you just look like, you know, who wants to work with you now? Oh, delicious. That would be fun.
I'd be here for that.
So
Just make it a little bit difficult for the vets, just a little.
Right,
Give them
right.
some adversity.
I want to see them in a little bit of a challenge, like some hot water.
Mm-hmm.
what if Goose just pulled the ultimate move and just put up both Dougie and Spicy Bay?
Oh my
I would
God.
thrive.
I would thrive. And I don't know why I think this, because I haven't really seen it, but like I just feel like Dougie would like own that veto.
And see, I'm nervous because when we Arissa left us off being like, and the never before seen executive veto. And
Yeah,
it's
what
like,
is
I don't know
that?
what that means, and I don't know how that's
Sounds
gonna
like it's
affect things.
veto with a tie.
But like, what does that mean? I'm stressed out about like how that's gonna affect things because she gave no inkling on what that might mean.
Nothing. Because you know, we have seen that the platinum power veto, right? Is that what they called it? The silver one?
I forget.
Diamond. It was diamond. The diamond
Diamond,
power
yes.
veto. That's what it was. And that allowed you to not only remove someone, right, but you also got to make the replacement nom. Right? Isn't that how the diamond worked?
I believe so.
This is something brand new. Do you get to like take down two? What are we doing? What makes you executive?
I don't know.
Do you have to dress up when you play it? Like, hey, why is this one sitting over here in a suit? Because
this veto meeting is taking place in a boardroom.
everybody comes to the
yeah.
conference room, the big red oak conference table.
I'm definitely intrigued because I had seen something about this on like the wiki, you know, the fandom website at one point.
What did it say?
And I forgot to bring it up. All it says is just details to be revealed. There's also another twist listed here though. It's called Movie Night Massacre, and it also just says details to be revealed. So
coming this season.
That's what it says. BBCan 12. That's on the wiki page.
Okay.
So
it's just funny how you built that up. Like, yeah, but the executive. I was reading this thing on the wiki page. You know the wiki page? The wiki page. So I was reading this thing, and it says executive power of veto. Details to follow. And it's like,
okay. I know so much.
I was like, right. I was like so excited. I was like, what does it say? What does it say? I thought we never started before.
I just
popcorn, like, tell me more.
So excited.
I just brought it up because it was just because since we were talking about this executive power of veto or whatever, so I remembered like, oh, I had been looking at these twists.
Right.
And
I
then
read this thing that told me
forgot
nothing.
to mention it.
Let me share it with you.
Well, you know, now you know there's another twist coming. So
yes. Thank you.
You jerks.
Oh my
Hey, come on. I was giving you credit. I said you were being funny.
All in good fun. All in good fun.
But yeah, that could certainly change things up. And I will say, I love that we don't have the HOH playing in these veto competitions.
I like it
Um,
so much better.
I love that. I love that. I don't want to see one person just running the whole week.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that somebody else will have to make this decision.
I wish that
Um,
was something we would take on.
yeah, I think you also get a lot more veto usage because of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Does
Yeah.
anybody have any thoughts on Vivek's goodbye message? I didn't watch it.
I know, I'm like, remind me what was in it. I don't remember, honestly.
Oof.
I
You have
actually
no
didn't
thoughts.
watch it either
Oh
because
no!
no, yeah,
Oof.
well, you know what? I was trying to cram everything in today, and I got to the end of the episode, and I just had no time. I
You
was
gave
like,
up.
all right, this is
Mhm.
the end. I can't watch the goodbye messages.
Well, I was just pissed, so I was just like, I'm not lying.
That's fair.
I was pissed. I had walked away.
I've just, if I can speak my truth, I've had a lot of trouble retaining details of things happening
Yeah.
this season, so I
No,
just
I
don't
was
remember.
mad.
I'm sorry.
I intentionally walked away. So yeah, sorry. I was in my feelings.
Yeah.
So
Something about this season, things go in one ear and out the other. I don't know, man.
yeah, I don't
I'm having
know.
a lot of trouble.
I think like my sponge is oversaturated. I'm just retaining nothing.
Literally, my
It's
brain is like,
going-
oh, we're only talking about 2 shows now. I can take a break. And it's like, no, I still need you to remember things that happened in those 2 shows, though. Please,
right. And
please.
you still have like life.
At least now, only one show that we're watching is 3 episodes a week.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God. But all right. I guess that's really it for the supposables.
Good job on your vocab.
Thank you.
I see you
learned a
learned
lot
something.
this week. I did. I learned a lot this week. Thanks, Miriam.
Oh God.
So what do we have coming up? Sunday, obviously, show's back on. We're going to find out what Goose does with his HOH. Whether we might obviously know sooner if you watch the Dallies.
I know. I was checking on Twitter to see if anything dropped today, but it doesn't
yeah.
seem like we
So
know
nothing.
noms
So
yet.
nothing. What else is happening? We are going to be live Monday at 9:00 discussing Survivor 46. And then next week we'll be back here with you again. Big Brother Canada, season 12. That'll be Thursday at 9 p.m. That'll be our last 9 p.m. BB Can stream. Some schedule changes coming because the Challenge All Stars 4 will be premiering on April 10th. Okay, so we're back to the challenge. And we'll be sharing the new BB Can time next week, once we've all discussed our schedules. Anything else for the benefit here of the community?
Let's go, Kayla.
Yeah, let's go, Kayla. Let's go. We're excited.
Kayla, happy to have you. I needed one, okay? I needed one to carry me, and I'm glad it's you.
And I will actually be screaming if she goes home next week. I don't want that.
Wish that
but
on me.
But I just think that's hysterical with all the Kayla standing. Oh, we love you. We needed one. We just needed one.
No, it's not we. I have a team of clunkers. I needed one.
With a vote of 8-0. Kayla, you are leaving the house. Oh no, I don't want that. I don't want that. But I will be excited to discuss the executive power of veto and whether or not we actually like this. So thank you, Natalie, as well for your Easter wishes. Hope you have a great Easter as well. And that goes for the rest of you hanging with us tonight. Find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. And be safe. And find lots of eggs with money and prizes. Okay? Good luck.